What is going on, Bolt Nation? This is LaserBolt coming at you with another Epics Legend video. In today's video, guys, we are going to get started with our ultimate guides for each individual legend within the game. And we are going to get started with Lifeline. Now, Lifeline is a very interesting character and by far one of the most must-have characters within the game. If I had to put into a sentence, Laser, what character do you feel that should be a must-have in the squad of 3? Lifeline would definitely fill that sentence. And I'm telling you guys, if you haven't given her a chance, definitely try to give her a chance. I know at the beginning it might seem like she's not such a great character as far as a pushy character or getting a lot of kills, but trust me when I say this, guys, Lifeline will save your life. Trust me, you're definitely going to want to have a Lifeline in your squad. Now, if you guys are interested in finding out how to be the best Lifeline in your team, make sure you guys stay tuned in the video because I will cover each individual trick and tip that you will need to know to become the best of the best. If that's something you guys are extremely interested in, make sure you guys drop a like, share this video with your friends because it does help me out a lot. Make sure you guys consider subscribing so you guys stay up to date to all things Epic Legend, and you guys can check all the ultimate guides we have for each individual character. If you're still undecided which character you should be, I have a video going over each character and its abilities, so you're more than welcome to check that one out. And if you're having a hard time figuring out where to land and get the best gear, I also have a video showing you guys the best landing spot locations. If you guys are having a hard time getting a win, or overall in general just want to stop by and chill and watch a really good stream of us getting some dubs and helping each other out, make sure you guys check us out on Twitch. We stream every day except Fridays. The link is down below in the description, and I hope to see you there and us get some dubs. So without further ado, let's talk about how you could become the best Lifeline in your team. Now, for a quick reference, I do want to mention her passive, her tactical, and her ultimate ability. I will dive in deep into each ability and telling you how to use these abilities and what is the most effective way or how to get the best out of these abilities when you're using them. So we got her passive ability, which is the combat medic. It revives a knockdown teammate faster, and it also puts a protective shield when you're reviving that teammate. On top of that, it also gives you the ability that anytime you use any healing item, you're able to consume this healing item 25% faster. We have our tactical ability, which is called a DOC healing drone. Basically what this does is it puts down a drone. Not only does it heal you, but it also heals your teammates in that vicinity where that drone is placed. Then we have our ultimate ability, which is the care package ability. This basically calls in a dropship full with high quality defensive gear. So the question now becomes is how can I use all these abilities to my advantage, and what is the most effective way of going to use these abilities? Well, we're going to get started with the passive ability, and I'm going to tell you guys why you need to make sure you're using this ability correctly. If you think about it, the passive ability has 3 amazing traits. One of the most amazing traits that it has is that when a knockdown teammate goes down, you're able to revive that teammate 25% faster than any other person that revives them. So if a teammate goes down, your job is to make sure you guys are providing that lifeline, part of the pun, to make sure that that person is coming back to life, because you are going to be able to revive that teammate 25% faster. I want to make sure I emphasize that because that is a very key role. You definitely want to be the person in charge of reviving your teammate. Another aspect of the passive ability is when you actually revive someone, you actually place down a shield. Now, I've seen a couple people that I played with or a couple people that I've seen on stream, what they do when they do the revive, they do it incorrectly. Because what happens is, remember, you're going to be using that shield as part of its protection of you reviving that teammate. That shield is there because you're going to be doing that revive maybe in a very close quarter or maybe in a very tight situation where the enemy's still fighting and you want to go ahead and get that revive because you got that 25% faster ability of reviving them. Now, the problem I've seen with people reviving is they automatically just slide and revive. And this sometimes places the shield either behind them or in front of them when the enemy is actually facing at a different direction. When you revive your teammate and someone is in combat and you're reviving them in a heated battle, you want to make sure you're facing the area where the enemy is at. You do not want to be facing, having your back to the enemy because your shield's going to be placed in front of you and your back is going to be uncovered. So whenever you go ahead and revive, you got to make sure you also pay attention to where the enemy's at, because you want to make sure that shield that you're dropping down is being placed in front of you and in front of the enemy and not the other way around. You want to make sure that shield is used for cover as opposed to putting the shield just to put it down. So make sure, guys, once again, whenever you revive, you always face the area you want protection from. One thing that seems to get lost in the passive abilities is the fact that you're able to consume items 25% faster than anybody else. And this makes Lifeline actually a very interesting character because not only can she become a pusher, but she also could take a little bit more risk than anybody else on the Legend squads. Because the reason is you're going to be able to heal yourself 25% faster than anybody else. So if you're fighting a Wraith, if you're fighting a Mirage, or you're fighting anybody else, you're going to be able to take that heal a lot faster than anybody else. This makes it very effective, especially for when you are trying to get out of a zone, or you're in a heated battle, or you're trying to get that revive. So keep in mind, guys, you're able to heal yourself 25% faster. Now let's take a look at her drone ability. Her drone ability is actually quite interesting because a lot of people use the drone but are not using it correctly. Now you want to make sure you guys are using the drone correctly. Now when I say correctly is I've seen a lot of people drop the drone only when they're really hurt and they want to heal. Now, granted, this ain't the wrong way to do it, but you want to do it the smart way. The smart way to do it is the following way. You want to drop the drone before you are actually engaging in a battle. Basically, what you want to use the drone for is a lifeline. You want to make sure you're able to get some shots in. If you got shot, you want to make sure you come back and get that extra heal fairly fast. Now, granted, you could use it when you really need the drone, of course. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't use it that way. But you want to make sure that you're using the drone in a smart way. Remember, you're able to get this ability really fast. So you want to make sure you're using it as often as you possibly can. Don't just only use it just to make sure you're healing yourself. You actually want to use the drone as a tactical advantage. What I would do is place down the drone, start shooting a couple people, maybe move away from the drone just a little bit. If you get a little bit of hit and you take a little bit of damage, you're able to come back maybe to a safe room, get that heal on, and you're able to go back into the battle. This is going to be a very tactical way of using the drone, and that's why it's called a tactical ability, because you want to make sure you're using it tactically, not using it just like a kind of like a, oh my goodness, I really needed an emergency, or else it would have been called an emergency ability. But the reason why it's called a tactical ability is because you want to use it tactically. You place the drone down for your teammates. They're able to go ahead, get a couple shots in, come back in, and get that heal right off the bat where they're able to come in. Another neat feature and trick that you might not know about the heal drone is that anytime the storm is closing in, you want to make sure you're dropping it in, especially if you want to go ahead and loot some bodies to give you that extra time. You want to use the syringes as less as possibly as you can. You want to make sure that you're using the drone more than you're using the syringes. The syringes are only to be used in case you need to go back into combat fairly fast. Remember, you're going to be able to consume that really fast. So you want to use the syringes only to re-engage the battle. You don't want to use the syringes when you're in the storm because you already have a heal drone, unless you don't have the ability activated already. Now let's talk about the ultimate ability, which is the care package. Now the care package is pretty self-explanatory, but you want to make sure you're calling this every single time you're able to call it, because this is going to be kind of like the key to being a really good lifeline and the key to making your team successful and actually winning the battle. You want to make sure you're calling this care package as much as you can. And this is where your teammates have to come into play, because your teammates have to be the number one source for you to be able to call as many care packages as you possibly can. There are items in the ground called ultimate accelerants. Basically, ultimate accelerants, what they do is they allow anybody to get their super or their ultimate ability 25% faster every time they consume one. Now you want to make sure that if your team up with a lifeline, you want to feed them as much ultimate accelerants as you possibly can. It takes 4 ultimate accelerants to call in a drone. So if you find ultimate accelerants early in the game, late in the game, you want to make sure you're constantly giving them to your support class or your lifeline as much as possible, because the care packages are the most OP thing right now in the game. It's kind of very crucial to have it because you can not only get a legendary chest, legendary helmet, and a legendary backpack. You get a whole assortment of really good stuff from that care package, and you want to make sure you're calling them as much as you can. I would say if you're playing a game, you at least want to call in an average at least 3 to 4 care packages by the time the game is over. This is going to make you a more effective player. And trust me when I say this, this is going to net you a ton of more wins if you're calling a lot of care packages. If you play with a friend that uses Lifeline, ultimate accelerants are like the lifeline for you to be successful to actually get this completed. On top of this, guys, if you ever find a gold helmet, do not pick it up if you're playing with a lifeline. If you're playing with a lifeline, your number one goal is to give that person that gold helmet. You want to make sure that the person that has the gold helmet is lifeline. If you do not want to pick it up unless you don't have a lifeline in your in your team. But if you have a lifeline in your team, you want to make sure 100% you give that kind of gold helmet to Lifeline, because that's going to let her get her tactical ability and her ultimate ability 25% faster. If you combine the helmet with the accelerants, you guys are going to be an OP team. Trust me when I say this. And there you guys have it, guys. That is the ultimate guide for Lifeline. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are playing as Lifeline. Let me know if you guys like her. If now that you guys found out different tips and tricks on how to become better at her, if you guys are going to be using her more. Also, let me know which other character you guys would like to see in the ultimate guide next. And don't forget, guys, for all things Epic's Legend, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and I will catch you guys on the next video.